people, they don't drive, but they like to go to gambling. So they will take train. So they will have a train station. There's a pickup to bus, shuttle bus to pick the people to the casino. And it is a free shuttle bus. But at the end, they find out because the color of this shuttle bus, Chinese doesn't like it. So right now, I would like to ask you, okay, because we talk about Ho Chi Minh City first. When I was in Ho Chi Minh City, I took a tour as a tourist. I took a tour bus. What kind of color in Ho Chi Minh City they have that tour bus? They use what color they use for the tour bus in Ho Chi Minh City? In city area, District 1, they are running around. So what is the color in Ho Chi Minh City? The tour bus. Not the
red color.
Yeah, red color. In Ho Chi Minh City, they think the red color is very colorful, very bright. It's good for tourists. Okay? So, do you think what kind of, then later on, they change the bus color and the shuttle bus color. Well, initially, the casino, what kind of color do you think they use? A black color to shuttle bus to pick up people to go to casino to gamble. But Chinese people actually, most of the Chinese people don't like black color because, especially in a car, big car, okay, shuttle bus, because they think that is a car to go to funeral, okay? So most of the Chinese people, they doesn't like to ride in the shuttle bus to go to casino because they think, I'm going to make money in a casino. I'm not going to attending a funeral to go to the casino. So that's why not many Chinese people, they would like to go to the casino just because of the bus color of the bus, okay? Because it was in black, okay? So later on, they changed to be another color. Guess what color they changed?
The white.
Now, Chinese, which one will give Chinese think you will think more rich, wealth?
Red,
yellow.
Yeah, yellow. Yeah, because the ancient emperor, they wore yellow dragon dress because that is symbol for rich, wealth, healthy, or
the king.
Yeah, like a king. Yeah. So eventually they changed the shuttle bus to be the color of yellow. So since then, casino, of course, full of Chinese people get in because, So this is a real story and a real good business case study as well, just because the color, because the custom, because the culture. So they didn't realize Chinese people didn't like big black color to go to, because they reckon that is go to funeral, they use the black color. But go to other things you like to, either for wedding, they like to, of course, the brides wear white dress, but most of for wedding, they use the red color because it means a really happy, colorful. And but for money, because gold is yellow as well, so they like yellow color. So this is color is very important as well when we are designing our website or doing our data visualization part and doing things. Yeah, talking about the data visualization part, actually just two color don't put together better because this is according to the design. This blue and red don't put together because it's not good for our eye contact because you watch too many blue and red color all together, then later on your eyes will become blurred as well. So a lot of color issue may be interesting. You can do more study, but this is just what I learned or know a little bit story. And also, but Chinese didn't like black color, but when you there's one kind of people they like black color, which is Mid East people. They like to dress black, or they think black color is a symbol of royalty or blah 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 blah. So actually, for the design from e-commerce point of view or website, if you want doing business with Middle East people, maybe you have to show some certain kind of black as well. So this is just talking about the visualization part. We have to look for a lot of things, including the cultural things, and also, of course, the things we would like to emphasize for these photos. Okay. So now we look at a couple of samples again about the visual aesthetics. So there's a left and right two photos. We look at what's wrong with it. Okay. So bear in mind one thing: when we have something with a horizontal line and a vertical line, so the intersection of the horizontal line and the vertical line, the value have to start from 0. Okay, so in this photo, on the left-hand side photo, the value start from 400. It's already wrong. So this is when we are designing our graph. So rule of thumb, bear in mind. So when left bottom corner, the horizontal line and the vertical line, the intersection of these two, the values should start from 0. Then you can going up, going down. That's fine. Okay. And then we look at our right-hand side, this photo. What's wrong with it? Because this photo tend to say something. So they try to convey the idea is there's a discount expected lifetime earning. Okay, income in thousands. So they try to say the meaning is the more you study, the more you can get more paid. Okay, so the idea is there's a money associated with the bottom horizontal line related to money. So they start with 0. That's fine. 200, 400, blah blah blah. Then horizontal line they tend to show is the grade. Where did you graduate? You graduate. You have finished. You have no study, or you finish. You finish no school, or you finish 1 year, finish 3 years. Then because our eyes tend to see from left to right and top down, from top to down. So in this case, because you want to convey, if you want to persuade people, says do more study, then you can learn more. So in this case, then you should put the graduate 3.75 GPA put on the top. The next line is 3.0, 2.0, 3 years, 1 year. So in the end, it is finish no school. It's better. So rather than put a finish no school at the top, so people will feel, oh, what you want to commit? Don't go to school. It's better or no? So it's better to do it upside down. Turn this one around to let people see. If you study more, you can learn more. If you don't study, you will learn less. So it's kind of we convey our study. Then compare with the left one, still the same. Left one have two arrows. One is as if it's not starting from 0. The other one, yes, still we tend from our eyes tend from left to right. So you put most important thing from left. So still we have to revert, to do grade 3.7 then to finish no school. Most important information to left and top is better. Okay, so this is kind of easier for us to understand a graph. Okay, don't make mistakes. And this is another one. From newspaper long time ago. There's tend to use wrong bar, so you have wrong ideas about have some kind of bias idea as well, and bias presentation as well. So we look at, so they put a big box of money and a small box for Netherlands. So people first one have to see didn't see the text description will tend to say, wow, America make a lot of money, 5 billion, and Netherlands make 2 billion money. But eventually, when we look at text, they find out talking about actually is the opposite. Is a budget deficit means a shortage of budget. So America is short of $5 billion, and whereas the Netherlands short for $2 billion. So compare Netherlands making is better performance than US. Okay, but because these are big money box, because the size of money box tend to mislead people thinking. So actually, yeah. But of course, on the hand, it is a shortage about a lot of money. So maybe you will see this is okay. But otherwise, people will tend to say, okay, Netherlands make less money, America make more money. No, actually, they want to say America have a lot of shortage about money, but the Netherlands have less. So this is one thing. Don't make people misunderstand or misinterpret about data. Below one is the same. They want to talk about the standard required to increase mileage from 18 to 27. But because the scale, so it's 18 to 27 is not that big, but they put this kind of scale, let you tend to think, actually it's an increase of 53 only. But because they use this kind of scale presentation, so you tend to see, actually it's a 783% increase. So it's a kind of, people tend to misunderstanding the photos or misinterpret about the photos. So it's no good representation as well. So this is no good one. So they are come from newspapers, but don't use this kind. Okay. Yeah, talking about the newspaper, at least in Taiwan, the department journalist, we have this kind of department to be a journalist. They have to learn data visualization right now as well, because it is really important for them to show some graph into the newspaper, because they can show some statistical graph to look for people. For example, they have to learn not only just a simple bar chart, line chart graph. Now they have to put geographic maps as well, just like the one we learned from data. So, for example, they want to show Taiwan most lung cancer come from which area. So they will show a geographic map about Taiwan. They will show distribute in which city, north or south, how many people die by lung cancer, how many people die by COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. This kind. So journalists have to learn data scientists and data visualization. So, yeah. So, we want to provide information in a kind of format that match our task. And we don't want to provide too much information, but also we don't want to provide too little information. So sort of, so we have to keep a balance. And also we don't want to use the improper use of color. Yeah, color is very important. And we all want to highlight to draw user attention to, we are highlighting certain things because we want them to pay attention, not the verse. So we want to highlighting to draw users' attention to important things, not unimportant things. And we don't want to use improper use of chart scaling. So make people have misunderstanding or misinterpretation. So these are the things we don't want to do. Okay. Yeah. Still, we look at more samples. Still compare the left to right. Okay. So this is simple by using bar chart to represent something, but we look at it really we don't know what this want to show. We have a look now. Horizontal line represent a country. So there's USA, Japan, Germany, France, blah, blah, blah. The vertical line represents the car, the brand name of the car. Okay, so there's Volkswagen, there's Volvo, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but by looking at bar chart, you really cannot tell. What does this mean? The bottom one, the Volkswagen means United States has, Japan has, Germany has, and the Volvo, blah, blah, every country has. Does this mean? Because you really hard to tell. So this is really poor use of bar chart. But we look at this right-hand side graph. Instead of using bar chart, we use the scatter plot. So scatter plot, we look at still the horizontal line is USA and the country, but the vertical is the car brand name. So immediately we can know. In United States, we have Mazda, we have Horizon, we have Colt, we have Lenka or something. Okay. And in Japan, we have Subaru, we have other cars. In Germany, we have Volkswagen, blah, blah, blah. So compare these two graphs, we can quickly know what these graph try to convey to show which country have which car brands. Okay, so we have to pick up using a scatter plot rather than bar chart. Yeah, really the bar, the line chart, it's difficult to us to show for what they try to say. Okay, so compare these two. We use the right-hand side photo graph. It's better. So continue. So this is another real story again. Happened in 2005, about 20 years ago in Florida. So they still that time they're trying to because in America a lot of guns. Okay, so they're trying to persuade people, say, should we support for gun law or not support, reject for gun laws, blah blah blah. So, but in the end, the newspaper they put wrong chart. So they lead to wrong decision making. So this is a really typical one. So so the upside down the chart, okay, and which is the lead to the it's a mess. It was a mess, and they lead to a wrong decision. So people like to support gun law or not support gun law. So still, bear in mind when we have a horizontal line, we look at the left one. When we have a horizontal line and a vertical line, the left bottom one is supposed to be value from number from zero, starting from zero. But we look at left-hand side chart. So they put a zero at top, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800. So they put upside down. So which leads people think about there's a 873 people against for the gun law and 721. Anyway, this really misleading people, this kind of chart, because it is upside down. So the correct representation is on the right-hand side, this chart. So there's a horizontal line, vertical line, the bottom one intersection is supposed to be zero. Then we gradually move up 200, 400, 600, 800. Then there's a 873 support the whole thing, then get to 721. So this is the one better. So it's really, this is a true story happened during year 2005 in Florida, just because the newspaper put it into wrong chart, and then later on lead to wrong decision making regarding to government's gun law. Okay, so this is really worse. So awful things happening. So we have to, even though look like a simple chart, but still certain things we have to bear in mind to keep don't make people misunderstanding or make misinterpretation. Okay. Okay. So there's a case study for this lecture, but because this case study only one page, but because it is not very clear, because I'm really hard to see some of the text. Okay, so and also today we have other lecture, still have other things to do. So I would like to let you to do this one page reading. Go back home when you have time, you just read even just one page, 2 columns. But just because no, it's not really clear. But anyway, we just look at the concept of these case studies doing. It's talking about Saudi Arabia. They have a telecom company. They try to excel with information visualization because they reckon a lot of people coming in to use their service. So they would like to provide better service. So there's a question related to this reading. So why do you think the telecommunication company are among the prime users of information visualization tool? Why do they want to move to information visualization? And how did Saudi Telecom use information visualization? The reading will explain as well. And what will their challenge, the proposed solution, and obtain results? So yeah, well, I will leave as a homework. You just going home to take some reading and to find out more what's their challenge when they move to visualize the information or even the tool or the data. What's their proposed solution and what's the outcome? Okay, so we won't do this because I would like to finish up. We almost finish up the lecture 6. Still have a little bit to do. So when I finish lecture 6, then we have a break. Okay. So the final part of this lecture 6 is talking about business reporting. Okay, so we are talking about written report, written documentation. Okay, so because eventually, even though dashboard is good, you can show to your executive CEO to see there's an interactivity about certain things. We would like to see Australia, we would like to see something, but still eventually highly recommended you have to write certain report, okay, written report to show something, okay. So because writing, the purpose is to improve management decision as well, to show people to have a look, because sometimes because CEO or executive, they are really busy because they don't want to get into detail because they have no time or they don't understand to get into detail. Yes, it is really good to show the interactive display, but maybe sometimes they want to look at in paper as well. So you have to write certain report. Of course, when we write a report, I remember I asked you one question. Says, higher managers you want to give to, the less papers you give to, but more bottom line is the manager, you have to produce a lot of report, but still you have to produce certain things to explain why you want to do these things and what kind of data sources, data from inside, outside, and also what kind of process you have done. And also you have to write a report, you have to write in text plus tables plus graphs. In other words, never show to your not only business boss, also your lecturer. Just only one graph. You look it by yourself. No, you have to put certain explanation about this graph. Okay, you use the print picture, screen down a few things and use text to explain, describe a little bit. And I always think the person to read your report is not only just your lecturer or your boss. Maybe later on, because it will be put into library or documentary into a certain place. Maybe there's some other people would like to see, and so you have to make it clear to everyone. Okay, still, it's like because even when we are writing thesis, the same, or when we are writing research papers, the same. publication papers, the same. We have to write it very clearly. Text plus tables. Yeah, I like tables, but and graphs, but not to say you just put a table and graph, put it in there. That's it. No, you have to explain a little bit what is this table for and what's the outcome you would like to drag out, and what is this graph for, what's the outcome you would like to drag out. Okay, so this is a writing report, and also once you finish writing, of course you can have a hard copy print out. Also, if from business point of view, you can send by email or put up in the cloud or send by intranet. Yeah, depends on the requirement from your company. But it's good always to consider once we finish up everything, we still have to write a report. Okay, so writing report starting from when? Starting, you have to define a problem definition. Why I need to do this work, and how do I do it? Data acquisition, and what kind of information I find, and what kind of analysis I do, and what is the result, and what is outcome. Then what is the conclusion, and also after you finish up the conclusion, you still need to say something about the future. So you can say there's certain things that haven't been done or can be done. Then you can put in the future direction to let your, not only for your business boss or your lecturer or your supervisor knows, you have considered more. There's a future. Although you finish out this part, but maybe there's more things coming out, there's more things you can do, so you can give a suggestion about the future direction as well. So this is a kind of business report writing, not only just for business, but also for your research report writing, your project writing as well. So still, I would like to remind for your group project, your final project, there's 2 stages for the final project. The first stage is just report writing. You have to write written in documents. Okay, writing the report, your finding, and don't forget to have a few screen downs. Okay, print screen to get screenshots. Okay, put into your report and give some explanation. And in the final week, week 10, we are going to have a presentation. And that time, of course, you can use a screen dump, or you can just use a tablet to do demonstration. That's fine. But because we want to keep a record about the report, so it's very important. We have to put into text, put into tables, and a graph, the print screen, and screen dump. Okay. And then the process for report writing, yes, because there's a lot of data coming from within your organization or outside of the organization. So there's data coming in, then we have to do a lot of data, make sure data quality, then we put into database repository. Then we can use all sorts of tools, analysis tool, Tableau, Power BI, Excel, blah, blah, blah. A lot of tools can help us to generate the report, table, graph, or visualization. Then we are going to give to the purpose of help us to facilitate decision making. And of course, once your decision made your decision, then still have to take into action. And once you take it into action, it's not just finished, the whole task. Still, there's more things coming in. You have to do refinement as well and keep going, moving on. So in terms of the business reporting, actually in terms of the file names, doesn't matter you are in Word or Excel. I tend to, my personal experience, I always have a file name dash 1, dash 2, dash 3. Or sometimes I put a date, today's date, tomorrow's date, next week, just for next week, when I'm doing the same reporting, because my report keep improving my report writing. So I keep update my report version, because the reason I would like to keep my old one, I won't delete it, because especially when I'm doing research publication, paper writing. Today I have this kind of idea. Tomorrow maybe I change another. Doesn't matter, but I always keep a copy. Then third day, I come out and say, oh, maybe my first day's idea is better. So I can come back to drag the things, put into my new version of the report. I keep maintain my old one. So I always put dash one, dash two, dash three. And you can, maybe you notice that when I send to my personal PowerPoint, I put file name, which day, and also I dash Maria. So I know that is my copy for me. So I can put the notes. So I know, even though if I have more update, I will put Maria dash one, dash Maria dash two. Because if I keep improving my PowerPoint slides, I will do this kind of file documentation. Yeah, keep maintain my file. So yeah, so yeah. So always when you are writing a report, always keep a copy of the report, just in case. Okay, one thing for backup purpose, also just in case something wrong. If you only maintain one copy of that report once, if something wrong with your computer, something wrong with your USB, or something wrong with internet, always for certain things. So always remember, have to be backup your files. Yeah, rule of thumb. Another rule of thumb, always have backup your file. So for example, I always have my USB with me, because not only I use my notebook, but still just in case something happening, especially when I'm flying, you will never know because up very high, and also because checking, even though I'm carrying on my notebook, but it's just worry about maybe something will happen. So I always will keep a backup. For example, USB or pad, I will put my things into a cloud just as a backup. Yeah, always keep a backup for your report. Okay, just in case. Okay. We're almost finished. Let me finish this part. So, the type of business report. So today we are focusing on the dashboard type of reporting. So we have to have a graphical presentation of several performance indicator in a single page using a kind of graph. And later on, we are going to business performance management. So we are going to talk about more about balanced scorecard type of report, including financial, customer, business process, others. And there's some kind to management business performance. There's some other kinds like Six Sigmas or other total quality management. I think you are very familiar with. So we won't talk much. So okay, so in terms of component of report, so still there's all your AP, all your TP stuff, and data storage, and also we write on business logic, and also we put into application media. You want to put into PPT or PowerPoint or PDF or what else. So yeah, okay, let's start for a break for 10 minutes. This is for lecture 6. Lecture 6. Then we have a break for 10 minutes. Then we'll come back. Okay, then we'll continue for lecture 7. Okay, see you later. 10 minutes break. Okay.
kêu cái này lại làm sẵn đúng một tháng đồ ăn đúng một tháng, mẹ kêu về ăn cái đó đi, như tin chưa, ăn ít đâu không còn được tưởng đó, thành ra chị em rất là kiểu giống như là hơi bị dị ứng, hơi bị dị ứng làm biết em khổ tới lúc nào sợ sợ mẹ đọc luôn á, thành ra
Okay, welcome back. So, okay, we continue for our second hours. Now we are going to look at this context. Let me share first. Okay, so we are going to talk about business performance management and role of BI and ethics. So it's a week 7th lecture. Wow, so time really flies. So we total we have 10 weeks lectures, and the last week will be your presentation. So apart from today, we only have 2 more to go. So next Sunday is lecture 8, then lecture 9. Okay, so we look at recapping of last lecture. So we talk about visualization, dashboard, business, and reporting. Okay, report writing. Okay. So what we are going to today, we are going to talk about BPM, what is so-called business performance management key components, and discuss the closed-loop process and performance management, and a framework called PAPA. So later we are talking about this. So there's one saying says, if you cannot measure things, then you cannot manage it. So the things you have to use the measurement. So to see, doesn't matter it's quantitative or qualitative stuff. So we continuously to monitor key performance indicator, KPI. So a company can use this one, KPI, to decide they should be on track or to meet their goals, or they should quickly identify trends and response to problems. So that's why we are learning. So the term of business performance management, in short, is BPM. So it's referred to business process, methodologies, metrics, and technology used by enterprises to measure, monitor, and manage business performance. So yeah, that's why we say if you cannot measure it, then you cannot manage it. Okay, and it is also a real-time system. So yeah, so right now we are all using real-time system that alerts manager to potential opportunities and also problems and threats, and then empower them to react through models and the cooperation. There's in different names from different companies, but they all mean similar or the same. So in here, we use BPM as a big umbrella term as well. And remember, I mentioned there's one Gartner report, Gartner group, they are doing report. So they use CPM, they call corporate performance management. So instead of they call business, they call corporate. And every year, actually in middle of August, I'm looking for Gartner report regarding to the emergency technology. What is so-called emergency is more advanced one, the real advanced technology. And every middle of August, they look for next year, from now to next August. So I was looking for, so eventually last 2 days, it released the new one for 2023 emergency technology. They mentioned the top one. So the next 1 year, which is the most popular technology, of course, it is AI. And so AI shows in hot. So a lot of AI related technology become from now on to next August, AI will be in the trend. Okay, yeah. Then another big company, Oracle, is a representative of relational database company. They call this BPM. It's called Enterprise Process Performance Management. So yeah, they use business this term or corporate this term or enterprise this term. SAP is another company, big company doing database as well. So they use the strategic enterprise management, SEM. So anyway, they're just a similar terminology. So the term business performance manager just refer to business process and method that help you to measure, monitor, and manage. Okay. So in BPM, include three key components. So the first one is a set of a closed loop management and a set of integrated closed loop management and analysis process supported by technology. So later on we look more in detail. And second one is tools for business to define strategic goals, and then we can use it to measure management performance against it. And the third one is a set of process related to financial and operational planning, reporting, modeling, analysis, and monitoring with so-called KPI linked to organizational strategy. Okay, so let's first look at a closed loop of process to optimize the business performance. So there's 4 steps. The first one we call strategies. Second one called plan. Third one called monitor. Then the fourth is act. So what to do in the first stage? So we set strategic goals for the organization. So we set for the mission, the value, the goal, objectives, and incentives, and strategic map during the first stage. In the second step, plan. So we create operational plans, including departments and targets, budget, and resources. So there's a budget, plan, forecast models, initiative, and targets involved. And in the third step, we talk about monitor. Okay, we by using the dashboard, we monitor the KPIs and the metrics by using the dashboard and the reports. Okay, and the fourth step is we going to review performance and adjust plan as necessary. So it's a kind of act and adjust. So there's an interpret, cooperate, assess, decide, act, adjust, track. Okay, so we look more into detail about these 4 steps. So the first step is from strategic part. Where do we want to go? So we have to set up for the strategic plans. Okay, so common tasks for strategic plans, including the process, including below 8. So I just name it first. So first one is conduct a current situation analysis. Second one, determine the planning horizon. Third, conduct environmental scan. Fourth, identify critical success factor. Fifth, complete a gap analysis. 6, create a strategic vision. 7, develop a business strategy. 8, identify strategic objective goals. Okay, I give a bit explanation now. So suppose I say, okay, company point of view, now we want to invest to Taiwan. Okay, of course, first thing we have to find out what's the current situation right now. It's good timing to go to Taiwan, and we have to conduct environmental scale means of course we have set some planning and conduct environment scale. In other words, we have to look at is the government allowed us to invest in Taiwan, or nationally or internationally it's okay to do such a thing. For example, during COVID-19 for the past 3 years, because of COVID-19, so everything stopped. So it's not good timing to do a lot of things outside the world. Okay, don't go abroad. But how about now? And actually now, the situation between Taiwan and China is not really good. So even from education point of view, not allow both sides don't want to have a student to do exchange. So you have to know the policy. Yeah, government doesn't like you to do it, then you don't do it. Yeah, so right now, actually in university in Taiwan, situation is not that good because now nobody want to give a birth of kids. Okay, so our kids getting less and less, but we have a lot of university. Actually, about 20 or 30 years ago, when I was a university at the time, only 20 university. But 10 years later, do you know how many? Right now, how many? 10 or 20 years later, right now we have 150 university. So you can see increase 7 times, 8 times. But right now, because not many people would like to give the birth rate, so the children getting less. So not many people will go not only in university, but even primary university. When I was in my primary university, each class we have about 50 students. But right now, do you know how many students in one primary school? Only 15 rather than 50, 15. So the student getting less, then getting to junior high, high school, then go to university. So less people. So Taiwan, from the university, especially private university point of view, they need students. Okay, but no more students coming from inside, so they have to attract a student from outside. But I think 3 years ago, just before the COVID, there's a lot of communication between Taiwan and China, which is good because a lot of Chinese students coming over to Taiwan study as well. But then since then, once of course COVID, then another thing because of government policy, so won't allow us to do any communication anymore. So really, a lot of universities they are trying to find a student. So that's actually my friends look at our photos. They said, "Wow, one class, so many students, and everyone were really happy." So actually, it's good to go to Vietnam now. So was making joke because I have a lot of colleagues from each university, so they are talking about this. Okay, so then identify critical success factors. So what we want to get out from this plan, make more money, or provide more service, or what else? Okay, then complete a gap analysis. So for example, ideally is one thing, and in reality is another thing. So we want to minimize the gap. Okay, so put into reality, then we have to adjust our plan. Yeah, and there's 3 terminology I would like to explain a little bit more. One is what is called strategic vision. Second thing is strategic objectives. Third thing is the goals. What's the difference? So we starting from strategic objectives. So actually, it's just a statement or general course of action prescribe what's your target direction for an organization. For example, I just use that example. Okay, we go for invest in Taiwan. This is our strategic objective. Our direction go to invest in Taiwan. And then what is so-called strategic goal? So it's a quantitative objective with a time period. When within by the end of this year, we go to Taiwan. Okay, so give a time period within 6 months' time. By the end of this year, we have to do something. We go to in Taiwan. This is our goal. And then what is so-called strategic vision? So it's a more broader, big picture. So, it's a kind of, you give an image about what an organization should look like in the future. So we will look at, by next year, if we go to Taiwan invest by the end of this year, then next year company will provide better service, or company will make more money. This is our vision. So for the future, so we have something to look for in the future and in big picture size. So this is the terminology I would like to explain a little bit. But I think in your other business classes, maybe you have learned these kind of things a lot. But just I want to, since it is in here, just I would like to explain more. Yeah, and there's key factors associated with it. So, for example, what things you like to look at, so make an organization to excel. Then, which means we want to make more money, we want to provide more service, we want to train more people to do things. So this is your KPI. You can try to find out. Okay. So actually, there are, according to statistics, there are more than 90% of organizations fail to execute their strategy. So that's why there's a big gap in there, because idea is one thing, our plan is one thing, but in reality, when we execute the plan, then we find out maybe, we don't have enough people, or we need to hire more people to do it. But once we hire more people, but they don't have that kind of skill to do it, so always have something happen. So this is the things we have to learn to learn to cope with. So in a plan, how do we get there? So normally, operational planning, plan that translates organizational strategic objective and goal into a set of well-defined tactics and initiatives, resources, requirement, and expect result for some futures in a time period. So it's kind of a 1 year, so-called short-term plan, 1 year plan. If 3 to 5, we call medium term and longer term plan. So there's operational planning within 1 year. What should we do? Where do we get to there? Then there's a tactic centric. So there's an operational focus, or there's a budget focus. So financial focus, you focus on money and people, or you focus on operation. Okay. So for the budget, so we can look for more budget or resource. So for monitor stage, so how are we doing regarding to monitor analyze? So there's a comprehensive framework for monitor performance should be addressed. So the first one is a critical success factor. The second one is strategic goals and target. Then we want to monitor, and also how to monitor. So in terms of how to monitor, we always have to compare between our input and output. If we set our key success factor is money, then how much money I put in, I would like to get return back. Then I don't want to lose too much money. So there's a comparison between input and output, and also there's a comparison between different kind of performance value. So there's a benchmark for us to make a comparison. We want to compare to the output, and also there's a feedback channel to help us to find out what should we do and what we shouldn't do. Okay. Then the last step is the act and adjust. So once we find out there's a gap between reality and plan, then what do we need to do differently? So we have to adjust our plan a little bit. And actually, another statistic shows, so 60% Hollywood movies fail. Okay, we watch a lot of movies, but how many being successful? How many be fail? Yeah, it's large successful only less than 40%, and same as IT company. Yeah, 70% of large IT project fail. Yeah, you can see it's really awful as well. It's not just come from the same as we think about. Life's not that easy, okay? So so the success depends on the new project. Like we are creating new products, entering new markets, acquiring new customer, and streaming some process. I'm not sure. Did you hear the term called incubation center or not? Have you heard the term called incubation center? The incubation means actually for the small chicken, to help the small chicken become a big chicken. It is called incubation. But because I put it into center, so in this terminology, I refer to, because in Taiwan, I forgot to ask these things. I'm not sure. Back to Vietnam, do you have this kind of facility or not? Did you? I'm not sure. Do you have an incubation center inside of your university?
Incubation.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of incubation in some company or even some school or university do have incubation for innovation and create something new.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, same as in Taiwan, in university, we have this kind of incubation center to help start-up company and to cooperate with university teachers, and also to cooperate with government. So it's a kind of government, industry, and university. We work together, okay, to incubate the small company. Okay, we call it small chicken, become a big chicken. Okay. So it is called incubation center. So we have this kind of facility. So back to Taiwan, in a university, I used to be a director of an incubation center. So I try to help a lot of startup company, small company. And I always told them, actually it's a joke also. I'm not sure, have you heard a term in Chinese about marriage? 7 years each means if you, for a marriage, you can last for more than 7 years, then you will be fine. It's a kind of Chinese expression as well. And means you have to last a longer period of time, then you have a longer relationship, okay? Same thing as an incubation center for the startup company, because the failure rate each year in Taiwan, according to statistics, there's more than 50,000 new company registered, okay? Startup, okay? More than 50,000. But they can success within 1 year, means they can continue to work in the second year. The percentage only 3%. In other words, only 500 companies survive after 1 year. Okay, so the rate is really low. So because I was the director for the incubation center, I always just try to encourage them. Say, keep working past 1 year, keep working past 2 years. If you can survive after 5 to 7 years, then you will be fine. You will become a big company. And really true, because I have been support a lot of company is like this. So they have to every year they have to try to survive once, twice, 3, 4, 5. After 5, getting better. The things after 7 years get really grow up. Of course, they should have a lot of adjustment within the period because they try to adjust their planning, adjust their providing new service, providing new product. They have to do a lot of refinement. Even they have to find more funding. Yeah, they have to try to find funding to make their startups survive. So this is just the things in reality is quite difficult, but you have to keep going, until. So that's why I use the marriage as an example to say once you can get over for 7 years each is not each anymore, means you will be okay for the long-term relationship, long-term marriage. So it's the same thing as a business. Yeah. So you have to keep working hard, then continues to keep going on and to keep active. So this is so-called incubation center. Yeah, just for your reference. Yeah. So to do a startup is quite it's quite hard. Need hard working, and also need timing as well. Yeah. Sometimes, for example, just last 3 years, the timing wasn't good, so you cannot do much things. But now maybe you can do certain things now. Yeah. So timing is important. As a Chinese have another saying: if you want to be successful, you have a good timing, a good people. Yeah. Okay, good people together. So timing is not it's not the only issue. You have a good team to work together. Yeah, and also you have a good relationship with others as well. So a few things you have to get together to make you be successful in doing business. Okay, so we keep moving on. So once we talk about the closed loop, we'll get into a performance dashboard. So we have seen this one before, just now last lecture, because right now we are talking about performance management. So it is quite important as well. So still the same thing, we put the things all together into one shot. Okay, so this is this start. These slides you have seen from the last lecture as well. Okay, so internal to make a good performance dashboard, we have to do design. So we want to, the challenge is to display all the required information on a single screen and have to be very clearly and without distraction. Yeah. So this is ideal, and 3-layer information, monitor, analysis, and management. And I think this part we have explained previously, so I won't spend much time for you. So what to look for in a dashboard? So we look at, again, we use a visual component to highlight data and expression that require action. So we use a visual display to highlight certain data and things, okay? And the dashboard have to be transparent to the user, meaning that they require minimum training and are extremely easy to use. So this is why not only Tableau, but Power BI, certain Excel, all these kind of analysis tool can help us to get really with a minimal training and very easy to use. We can handle it. And also it combines data from a variety of systems into a single summarized unified view of business. Yeah, we keep talking about these different kind of data sources coming in, external, internal, different systems, and we have to integrate them and unify them. And enable us to drill down or drill through to underlying data sources or report. we mentioned this last week as well, last lecture as well. Drill down, we look at things from different perspective and look at from day to month to year, or reverse. We look from year to quarter to month to week to day. So we can, from different perspective, we look at things. And of course, we need to present a dynamic real-world view with timing data. So yeah, so there's interactivity associated with it as well. And actually, it is require little coding to implement, deploy, and maintain. So Tableau and the good about Tableau and Power BI and Excel or the new analytic tools, they are really good for easy to use, not only easy to use, easy to understand, but also little coding. Just some of you should show me the Tableau video assessment. You already know how to put equation, how to come out equation. So that is the only coding you need, and you also know how to write if then else statement. That's enough for Tableau. So actually, Tableau or this kind of Power BI is good for MBA students to learn, for business people to do, because IT people, they have to code, to do the coding, and they are more looking A or TP side. Okay, but where we are looking more and then a data analysis point of view. So MBA student, yeah, don't need too much coding, and it's with a minimal training, and you can easy to use this Tableau for performance dashboard. So which is really good. So this you can keep practicing and apply this dashboard techniques to show to people. Yeah. So come on, a lot of things. Okay. So there's some best practice in dashboard design. So I just explain a little bit about how to do it. Okay, so we can see still first, we set up KPI with the industrial standard. So you are looking for more sales or profit, we set up benchmark. And we wrap the metrics with contextual metadata. So remember the term metadata, data about data. So we look at in what we are really interesting, the dimension we are really interesting to look at, to work on. Then we validate the design by a usability specialist. So once you have done this, you can ask your colleagues to check with it, or ask your friends to look at it. So to try to validate before you give to your big boss to watch it. And also we can prioritize and ranking alert and exceptions. Sometimes when we give to the reason we want to give to the report, the dashboard to show to our big boss, because we want to show not only the current status, but also we want to show the big boss about the alert and some exception things as well. So we can quickly find out a solution for those alerts and the exception. So we can prioritize and ranking those alerts and the exceptions. So it's good. And also enrich dashboard with business user comments. So once you show to your big boss or some user they try to use, so just keep refine your doing, because you can just keep adjust your performance. So yeah, keep their comments up. Then present information, in 3 different levels. So mention, monitor, analysis, and manage in these three different levels, depending on what you want to come out from this dashboard. And pick up the right visual construct. Yeah, bear in mind, not only position, but also color or other things, small things we just pick up on the right visual construct. Then provide for guided analysis. Yeah, 你通过里面 still so-called guided analysis means still you need to write a report or something to show to people what you've been talking. So always keep a copy of your screen, okay, screen down, and always keep a copy of your Tableau files, and always keep a copy of your report writing. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, so you can do it next time. Yeah, just yeah, because sometimes we are busy, we are tend to forget about things. So it's easy. Just like write a user manual, always keep writing some kind of report to show that, okay, you have to do this, blah, 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 then come out a dashboard, what's the dashboard want to show. So this is just for your reference, and keep practicing, then you will know how to do now. Dashboard design, okay? So a good performance management system is a system that a system manager to tracking the implementation of business strategy by comparing actual result against the strategic goal and objectives. Okay, so but yeah, we just say now, according to statistics, there always a gap. So we try to minimize the gap by actual report, by to meet our strategic goal and objectives. Okay, this is the goal, but sometimes it's hard, so we do some adjustment. Okay, then we consist static system comparison method to indicate progress against the goals. So we keep a track of the process. So to know what things is met, what things hasn't, and maybe we need to do some adjustment. For example, how many people we need to hire, but once we hire those people, our target to we can finish this project on time. Unfortunately, the people doesn't have skill, then we have to provide more training for those people. So we have to keep solve the problem, so sort the things. Yeah. So this is the things we keep tracking about the progress about the things. Okay. So in terms of KPI, so there's a KPIs from two parts we look at. One is called operational metrics, and later we look at this in more detail. So KPI is a key performance indicator. So represent a strategic objective and metrics that measure performance against a goal. So normally we will try to see in certain time frame, and we have some kind of benchmark and some kind of target, some kind of range, and some kind of strategy. Do we meet the KPI or not? So we have a look. Normally, there are two kinds of KPI. One so-called outcome KPI, another one so-called driver KPI. Later on, we give you example. Then in operational area covered by driver KPI means we check for the customer performance, service performance, sales performance, and sales plan as well. So we look at this more clear. We see in the organization depends on your level of management. There's a more bottom line one we call operational level management. There's a middle level we call tactical management, and there's a senior executive level we call strategic level. We always look into so-called outcome KPI and the so-called driver KPI. What is meaningful outcome KPI means we measure past performance on an infrequent basis, usually aggregate from low-level KPI. And what is so-called driver KPI? We look at more for KPI which drive high-level KPI. So what is driver KPI, which is customer performance, service performance, sales performance, and sales plan? So in other words, we always look for financial part, customer part, process part, and innovation part. So we have a look in, this is a typical KPI performance in every department, in everywhere. So we look at from left to right, we can see from financial point of view, we look at KPI is revenue or operation income and operation expenses or some kind of working capitals or other accounts, receivable or payable, okay? Then from customer point of view, we look for customer satisfaction rate, we look for net promotional score, and we look for customer retention rate. Or do they come back oftenly? Do they come back frequently? Okay. From marketing point of view, we look for the campaign return of invest. We look for customer lifetime value. From sales point of view, we look for sales growth, target attainment, sales by conduct method. And there's a manufacturer point of view, we look for different KPI, look even recycle time, production volume, and capacity utility. And even from HR point of view, we look for employee satisfaction rate, employee retention rate. So this is a typical KPI performance indicator. And I think in your other business class, you have talked this more. Okay, so yeah, just show you as a reference about the KPI stuff. Okay. So for this part, let me finish up this balance scorecard. Then we have a break. So actually, balance scorecard you can see is almost 30 years. The balance scorecard being used as to measure drive performance. Okay, so what is so-called balance scorecard is called BAC. Is a performance management measurement and management method that help translate an organizational financial that look for from 4 points: financial, customer, internal process, and the learning and growth objective and the targets into a set of actionable initiatives. Okay, so we have looked. This is a balance scorecard. So they look for 4 things. First one is financial. Second, customer, learning and growth, and finally, internal business process. And they look for from different perspectives, always from objectives, measures, target, initiate, 4 points. And in the financial part, they look for to succeed financially. How should we appear to our stakeholders, shareholders, and customer to achieve our vision? How should we appear to our customers? And the learning and growth to achieve our vision. How will we sustain our ability to change and improve? And lastly, internal business process to satisfy our shareholder and the customer, or the business process must be excelled. So it's so-called balance scorecard. In other words, because it's 30 years ago, 1992, they already used that time. Computer just started, the internet just started. So actually, they use paperwork. So you have to use a card to fill in the form. Also, the financial, did you meet your objective? Do you put your major target, initial customer, blah, blah, blah. So they use a form, okay, to fill in a card, to fill in the form. So it's a paperwork. But nowadays, because IT evolved and a lot of new tools help us to do analysis. So people tend, from business point of view, if you still maybe there are some big company that are still using balance scorecard, try to find out their performance. But maybe in other newer company or small business, maybe they can use new things, new IT IT staff try to help you to measure the performance. So yeah. So but the balance scorecard has been very popular at one stage. Okay, same as Six Sigma. So I think in your other business class you have been learning a lot. So we won't spend time in here. So how about we have a break for 5 minutes? Okay. So we have a break now.